Yes, you listening right now. Ready for another deep dive? Because, we definitely are.
Always ready.
And hey, before we really get going, I've got something super quick, kind of a win for you, actually.
Oh?
Yeah. If you like exploring these stories with us, getting right into what makes them work, you'll love this. Just take a quick look down at the description for this deep dive.
Okay, what's
See
it
that
about?
link there? Go on, give it a click. Seriously, it's like,
Hmm?
yeah, it's pretty great.
Uh-huh.
That specific link, it takes you straight to Audible. And here's the really cool part. If you subscribe using that link, you get a free audiobook.
Oh, nice.
Right. Think of it like a little thank you from us for, hanging out on these adventures. So yeah, click the link, grab your free book, and now let's get into a really, really remarkable novel.
Okay, let's do it. So today we're looking at Laura Kinsale's Flores a la Tormenta, Flowers from the Storm.
Right.
It's historical romance set in 19th century England. And look, if the romance label makes anyone pause.
Yeah, some people might switch off.
Exactly, but I'd say, hold on. This isn't just, your average love story. It's really acclaimed for its depth, how it handles some pretty complex stuff.
Absolutely. And right at the heart of it, you've got these two incredibly compelling characters. Their lives are just about to crash into each other. First, there's Christian Langland. He's the Duke of Jervaux. Picture this guy. He's got it all. Super smart, totally charismatic, big deal in society.
Right, and a brilliant mind, too, especially for maths, apparently.
Exactly, a real force. But
Mhm.
then, well, tragedy hits hard, and it silences him. People start thinking his mind's, broken.
A huge fall from grace.
Totally. And then you have Maddie Timms. Her life is like the complete opposite of the Duke's world.
Polar opposites. She's a Quaker. Her whole life is about simplicity, deep compassion, and this really strong belief in redemption.
Her values, her whole world couldn't be further from the Duke's fancy intellectual circles.
Oh, not at all.
So our mission today really is to dig into what makes Flores a la Tormenta so loved, why it sticks with people.
Yeah. What's the magic formula here?
What is it about this story, these specific characters, their whole journey, that hits so hard, Let's really try and get under the skin of this book.
Okay. Well, the setup itself is immediately striking, isn't it? You have this incredibly articulate, powerful intellect
Yeah.
who suddenly can't communicate after a stroke.
Yeah.
He's still in there thinking, feeling.
Right, the lights are on.
Exactly. But he can't get it out like he used to. And as one analysis we read pointed out, the world just sees this silence as, madness.
Which says a lot about how we define intelligence, doesn't it? Presence.
It really does.
It's such a devastating idea, and it throws us straight into something way beyond, your typical rom-com setup.
Oh, absolutely. No meet cute here.
No, you're immediately dealing with this profound vulnerability in someone who is like the definition of powerful. One source put it really well, asking, what happens when a genius loses his voice? It forces a totally different kind of connection.
Precisely. And that's the situation Maddie walks into. Now, it's important, as one really insightful piece noted, she doesn't just show up like some kind of fairy godmother rescuer.
Right. She's not there to magically fix him.
No. As a Quaker, her life is guided by peace, truth, humility. She's operating in a completely different social and, frankly, spiritual world than the Duke.
It's the ultimate contrast, isn't it? This privileged, worldly man and this woman grounded in faith and simplicity.
Total juxtaposition.
And yet, when Maddie finds Christian in the asylum, this awful place where he's being treated cruelly, just dismissed as insane, she sees something more. She spots that flicker of humanity in him that everyone else has missed. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? About all the unseen struggles people are going through.
It really does. And it brings up this crucial point about perception, how we judge people. The novel, as our analysis suggests, offers this subtle but really powerful critique of how society treats people seen as different.
Whether it's disability or mental illness.
Exactly. How many people, the analysis kind of asks, are like Christian? Still there inside, but trapped, unheard. It really challenges our own assumptions.
And it's Maddie's ability to look past that, past his inability to talk in the usual way, that kicks the whole story off.
Yeah.
It's not about her saving him with some big dramatic action. It's about offering him basic human dignity, connection, in a place where he has none.
And what's really interesting here is that Maddie isn't, perfect or without her own issues. One source cleverly points out she's also trapped in her faith, in her norms, in her fear of what she feels.
Ah, so it's not just a simple, capable rescuer, helpless victim thing.
Not at all. It's two people finding this unexpected connection in really tough circumstances, and through that, they both start pushing against their own boundaries.
Which leads us to a really central theme the sources kept highlighting. This transformative power of love, but with a key difference.
Yeah.
As one bit put it really nicely, love doesn't cure everything, but it transforms everything. It's not like suddenly they fall in love and poof, Christian's neurological issues vanish.
Right, that would feel cheap.
Yeah.
Instead, Maddie's steady presence, her belief in him, it becomes this catalyst for a different kind of healing.
Yeah, a motivation.
Precisely. Christian doesn't just magically get better because she likes him, but her faith in him, her refusal to just label him mad, gives him a reason, a really vital reason, to fight back against despair. To start that incredibly hard journey of trying to put himself back together, love here is fuel for his own internal fight.
And it definitely goes both ways, doesn't it? Maddie isn't unchanged by knowing Christian.
No way.
She starts questioning maybe some of the stricter parts of her faith, moves past judgments and old fears, and starts to embrace her own complex feelings, her own desires.
She learns to see beyond just the rules of her community, maybe, allow herself a fuller range of, well, human experience. So, if you kind of step back, it seems like Kinsale is really exploring how genuine human connection impacts both people involved.
Deeply. It's about empathy, isn't it? Looking past the labels society slaps on people.
And the courage it takes to actually see someone's inherent worth, no matter what they look like on the outside or what they can or can't do.
One of the most thought-provoking things our sources touched on was how the novel messes with our definitions of sane and mad.
Oh, definitely.
By putting Christian, this certified genius, in a position where he can't express his thoughts, Kinsale makes us question our own assumptions about mental ability, about what gives a person value.
Yeah, how often do we just equate being able to talk normally with being intelligent?
Exactly.
And the novel implicitly asks, who gets to decide who's mad? And what are the consequences, often terrible consequences, of labeling and isolating people who don't fit the mold for communication or behavior?
It's a strong critique of those 19th century social structures.
But it still resonates today, doesn't it? In how we think about and support people with disabilities or mental health struggles.
Absolutely. Now, the synopsis we looked at mentioned the dynamic before his illness. Maddie apparently admired his brain power from afar.
Right, but disapproved of his lifestyle.
His more libertine ways. So there was already tension there, suggesting their connection wouldn't be simple.
Yeah, and that initial disapproval makes their later bond even more interesting. It shows her care for him later isn't based on some rosy memory of his old self.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. It comes from basic human compassion, recognizing his worth even when he's at his lowest point.
And the synopsis also mentioned the other hurdles they face, right?
Yeah.
Beyond just his health. Family, society, there are huge differences in background and beliefs.
Oh yeah, it all weaves together into this really complex relationship. It's clearly not an easy pass for them.
No fairy tale romance.
Not even close. The synopsis calls it complex and passionate, which feels right. Maddie's constantly wrestling with her Quaker faith, which is pretty opposed to worldly things, pride, basically everything Christian used to represent.
Yet she's drawn to him anyway, to his vulnerability.
Yeah, the wounded person she sees underneath the broken surface.
And for Christian, Maddie becomes his lifeline. Literally, the only one who sees him as a thinking, feeling person, not just an empty body.
His attraction probably starts more superficially, but it deepens into this profound emotional reliance. She's his anchor.
In the storm, like the title says.
Exactly. And the analysis we read really digs into those themes: redemption, healing,
Yeah.
not just Christian's physical recovery, but their emotional growth too.
A love that goes beyond just looks or abilities.
Yes, and that internal conflict between reason and desire, faith and passion, it's all embodied in Maddie and Christian.
And that struggle to communicate you mentioned earlier, it's so key, isn't it? Christian's desperate attempts to talk become the symbol for the isolation they both feel in different ways.
That's a great point. Maddie's trapped by her rules and expectations. Christian's trapped inside his own body and mind.
And finally, the sources all seem to agree on the book's literary quality, its psychological depth.
The skilled writing, the sensitive handling of tough subjects like disability, mental health, faith.
It doesn't shy away from the characters being flawed, which makes them feel so real.
Totally authentic.
Okay, so pulling it all together from this deep dive, it feels like Laura Kinsale is showing us a few powerful things, like Real love can heal and transform, even if it's not a magic cure.
Right, and someone's worth isn't about their abilities or status.
And there's often this real tension, maybe even conflict, between our beliefs and our desires.
Hmm. And how society tends to judge and push away anyone seen as different or vulnerable.
And maybe ultimately there's a kind of profound beauty in vulnerability itself and connecting with someone on that really basic human level, seeing past the surface stuff.
That sums it up beautifully. It's a story that really does stay with you because it tackles these big ideas through characters who feel incredibly real, facing these huge challenges.
It definitely makes you think about your own assumptions.
Yeah, about love, ability, what connection really means.
Well, that about wraps up another fascinating deep dive. I
Yeah.
really hope exploring this has given everyone a richer sense of Laura Kinsale's Flores en la Tormenta, maybe even made you want to pick it up.
It's a journey I'd definitely recommend.
All right, that is all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for joining us. Until our next exploration, keep those minds open, keep asking questions.
Absolutely.
And hey, if you like this, maybe tell a friend. Or click that link in the description, treat yourself to that free audiobook. Until next time, take care and happy listening.
Farewell, everyone.